Before we begin, if you like what you hear on the Tan and J-Man Show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and go ahead and click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We encourage you to interact with us and keep up to date with the Tan and J-Man Show on social media by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show with your hosts Tanner Lee and Josh the J-Man Munt.
We are back at it live on the ISC Sports Network, live from the Tan and J-Man Show studio. How you doing tonight there, T-Dog?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm really
Not too shabby.
ready for more sports to start coming back because
talking about this for 3 months now.
It's getting difficult to stay positive in a sane mental state. And like we were talking before we got on air, Twitterverse can be pretty toxic at times.
Social media during bad times isn't very fun to be on.
No, and I found myself the other day almost deactivating my personal Twitter, but I decided to, just stay on there and just scroll past the negativity, I guess.
Or you could just stay off of it.
That's hard for me to do because I like to keep updated with what's going on.
That's how I stay.
Isn't a whole lot right now. Well, sports-wise,
current.
A whole lot right now, but a lot going on in the world, as everybody knows.
The Tan and J-Man Show is brought to you by The Dam Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, The Dam Landing is the place to be. The Dam is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. The Dam Smoke is back. It had a little bit of a hiatus because of their
the meat shortage,
the meat supplier, but they are fully stocked now. It will be available on weekends featuring barbecue and steaks. In addition, you can wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Take in the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area. Whether it be boats or wheels, the Dam Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester. Their number is 574-223-8950.
Good read, J-Man.
Did you hear that motorcycle fly by?
I did. There's not much I can do about that. So
could go out there and yell at him.
Yeah, by the time I ran upstairs with my blazing Usain Bolt speed, I still wouldn't be able to.
They should know this is a television studio down here, and we are live on TV, and you're screwing up our audio.
We're pros. The show must go on. Yeah. Nothing phases us.
Well, I kind of had to make a note of it.
You ready for some birdie bogey?
Let's hear it. I'm nervous.
It's an MLB question.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
It's simple. Who's the last MLB pitcher to throw a no-hitter?
I don't even have an answer.
You get a whole hour to think about
That's just great.
But I have 2 follow-up questions off that I'll give you right now so you can build some confidence.
Last MLB pitcher.
I know one of these you'll get right. I'm not sure about the other one. But one of them, the Cubs have only had one pitcher throw a no-hitter against them since Sandy Koufax in 1965. Who was that?
You want me to answer now?
Yes.
Cole Hamels.
What year?
2015.
Yes. I knew you'd get that one.
July of something, 2015.
Who's the youngest player to hit 500 home runs?
Youngest?
Or at the time when he hit his 500th.
It's got to be Griffey, doesn't it?
Nope.
It's not Griffey.
Alex Rodriguez.
Oh.
32 years and 8 months.
He came up when he was like 18 or 19, too. How old was he?
32 years, 8 months.
I wonder, Mike Trout turns 29 this year. I wonder if he could get there before 32 years old. Of course, we're going to have a shortened season. He's at 285, so he'd need 215 more. It's probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
But
you can think about the birdie bogey question. Who was the last MLB pitcher to throw a no-hitter? You got quite a while to think about it.
Yes.
So.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC. Fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. They were at the Kosciuszko County Farmers Market over the weekend, where they had lettuce heads, salad mix, radishes, carrots, kale, rhubarb, and asparagus. I know they have cucumbers as well, and they started growing strawberries, correct?
Yep.
And tomatoes, I think, too, or...
You know Just as much, not more than I do.
I don't know if they are.
Because it's your read every week, so you've been keeping up.
I apologize.
But anyways, you can always get your
veggies.
That wasn't as smooth as a transaction. That was my fault.
If you wouldn't have said anything, I probably would have forgot to do it this week.
Well, okay, so I kind of helped.
You helped out immensely. Are you ready to get educated?
I'm really excited for this week's.
Why?
I don't know.
You feel like it's going to be a good one?
Yeah, and I feel like we aren't sure what we're going to be talking about tonight yet still.
I'll stretch this out if you want me to. 1874, the game of lawn tennis was introduced, which to my understanding, it was the first version of tennis, but does not have like walls around it.
I was going to say,
it was just out in an open
version of badminton?
It was just out in an open field.
You ever played badminton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like actual badminton, not just hitting it back and forth, like
I played
with the net and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shuttlecock, isn't that what the thing's called? Or
I thought it was a birdie. The little thing you hit. I thought that was called a birdie.
I'm scared to Google that word. For some reason, I was thinking that's what the actual thing was
I'll
called.
look it up.
Anyway, 1889, the Louisville Colonels set Major League Baseball record with their 26th straight loss.
It's not good.
It's a bad.
It is shuttlecock. You're right. I thought it was a birdie.
J-Man. I think they call it a birdie just because it's a lot shorter than that word.
So most common forms of the game are singles, one player on each side, and doubles, two players each side.
It's not fun. I don't enjoy it.
I don't mind it, but
1918, the U.S. National Championship women's tennis was played in Forest Hills, New York. Who won?
I have no guess.
Mala Bjurstad beats Eleanor Goss 6-4, 6-3 for her fourth consecutive
Can't say I've ever heard of either woman.
U.S. singles title. 1921, Paavo Nurmi runs world record 10,000 meter in 30 minutes? Or 30 hours? I don't know. What was his nickname? The Flying Finn.
I had nothing coming to me.
Let's see here. 1930, Lou Gehrig hit 3 homers in a game, while Babe Ruth hit 3 in the doubleheader. That's a lot of homers for.
That's a pitcher's nightmare, isn't it?
See them back to back.
Murderers
Row. Yeah. 1937, Joe Louis KOs James J. Braddock in 18 for his first heavyweight boxing title in significant moment in African American sporting history.
He's a pretty good boxer.
Yeah. Not a whole lot here.
Man, I thought there'd be a lot of U.S. Open.
Well,
because yesterday should have been the Sunday of the U.S. Open. It was pretty depressing.
1958, game in Kansas City between the A's and the Red Sox delayed 29 minutes due to tornado. Game in KC. That's weird that they're playing KC. Maybe the A's played in Kansas City then.
I thought they were Philadelphia, then
I
Oakland.
did too. I said game in KC. Maybe that's just wrong and they have the wrong teams. San Diego Padres pitcher on this day in 1976, Randy Jones, tied a record of 68 innings without a walk.
It's a pretty good streak there. Some accuracy.
Yeah. 1979, Larry Holmes TKOs Mike Weaver in 12 for heavyweight boxing.
I'd say
title.
I've ever heard of either one of them.
Never heard of Larry Holmes?
Nope.
Man.
Okay, Mr. Boxer expert.
This is a good one. 1981, John McEnroe's famous "You Cannot Be Serious" rant came in first round win over Tom Gullickson at Wimbledon.
Good old Johnny Mac.
1982, Peter Rose gets his 3,772nd hit, who moved past who into second place all time.
Ooh. I don't even have a guess.
I believe it's Hank Aaron. All it says is Aaron. I assume it's Hank. It is Hank Aaron.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I'm not good with the guesses.
I didn't know Aaron had that many hits.
I didn't either.
He did play quite a while.
I just hit a lot of home runs.
This is a good move for the Atlanta Braves. In 1990, they replaced manager Russ Nixon with their general manager, Bobby Cox.
Yeah, good move.
1991 NHL draft, Oshawa Generals center Eric Lindros, first pick by the Quebec Nordiques.
I remember Lindros played for the Flyers and the Maple Leafs and the Nordiques, huh? So he could have been a part of the Avs if he stayed there.
Is that where they were originally?
Yeah. Won the Cup first year they moved to Colorado.
1993, New York Met Anthony Young ties record of 23rd straight loss.
Oh,
He's a
my.
pitcher. I believe he was a Cub at one time. I could be way off.
That's not a record you want to be remembered for.
I'm pretty sure he passed away. He died 3 years ago. He was a Cub for 2 years in 94 and 95.
How'd he keep getting a job?
Well, pitcher wins. I've been on record saying it's the worst, stupidest thing ever. But he went 1-16 in 1993, but his ERA was 3.77.
Yeah, that's not.
So he's
awful.
solid.
Definitely not awful for that record.
The year before, he was 2-14 with a 4.17. So he wasn't terrible. I want to see how bad those Mets teams were. The 93 Mets went 59-103.
Meet the Mets.
The 92 Mets went 72-90, so they weren't as bad.
They have a song about them, and they're not very good.
1994, who won the NBA championship?
Rockets. They won back-to-back without Jordan.
Tanner gets a birdie.
Olajuwon, I'm assuming, was MVP.
It does not say, but there is a picture of Hakeem.
93-94, they beat the Magic. 94-95, they beat the Knicks.
This is when they beat the Knicks. So
okay.
This would have been... You sure? Well, unless this is wrong, because it says 1994 they beat the Knicks.
Maybe I got them mixed up, but I thought okay. Yeah.
This website has been known to...
No, I think the Knicks were before the Magic, now that I think about
astray. It. 2002, this is some sad news. It's not actually on here, but Darryl Kyle passed away on this day.
Oh, yes.
2002.
Cardinals were to play the Cubs that day at Wrigley.
I remember,
it's a good one.
I remember Joe Girardi having to address the crowd, and he could barely get through it. Sad day.
Rochester native PGA Tour player Chris Smith was supposed to eat dinner with Darryl Kyle after the game. He was pretty close to him. So somebody came up and gave him the news, too, from the Cardinals organization.
2009, who won the U.S. Open?
2009?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Tiger won in 08. Can you give me the golf course?
Bethpage State Park.
Oh, Lucas Glover.
Lucas Glover.
Yep.
Only major titles.
Phil Mickelson was in contention, so was David Duvall.
David Duvall and Ricky Barnes.
And Ricky Barnes, yep. Forgot about him. Yep.
2014 U.S. Open Women's Golf. Who won that one? 2014.
Lauren Ochoa.
Michelle Wee beat Stacy Lewis.
She didn't win too many majors. She just had a baby over the weekend.
I saw that
her husband
on the tweeter. Who was the number one overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft on this day?
Oh, crud. 17. Oh, man. Zion. I don't even remember who had to pick.
This fella is no longer with the team he was with.
Yeah. Give me the team who picked first.
76ers.
Oh, it was the kid who can't shoot.
Yeah.
Foles.
Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, Fultz. Yeah. That's terrible. Guy who can't shoot.
Yeah, he got the gifts.
I totally forgot he was the first pick. I'm so bad with NBA draft.
I'm real bad. What was the trivia? Was it last week? It wasn't last week. It was a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. When the trivia question.
About Duke and
Kentucky. Number one overall picks, and I got like 3 out of the 6.
Yep.
That was tough. Who's that sponsored by there, T-Dog?
Oh, you're done? Didn't know you were done.
That was it. Sorry. I wasn't clear.
Yes, the On This Day segment is brought to you by, like it is every week, Proforma Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company, and you can give them a call at 574-210-3815.
Neato! Baseball news came out today. The Players Union.
Just within the last hour, right?
Within the last hour. Was voting on the proposal. The owners and Manfred sent out a 60 games, fully prorated. In a vote of 33-5, it was rejected. Of the 5 votes, the Cubs were one of the teams who voted yes, as were the Rockies and the Marlins.
So you can't talk bad about the Rockies anymore.
3 of the 5. But, man, after last week, it was this day last week, when all the players were tweeting, tell us when and where, when and where, when and where. Come out and just completely, nah, we don't want to do that now.
I just don't think they want to play either.
Yeah, that could be part of it. I mean,
it's at this point, and I don't know.
They should want to play.
Yeah.
I am now no longer on the player's side. I will never be on the owner's side, but I am extremely upset with both sides because, I mean, they had an opportunity. We've talked about this so much here the past month or so. They've had an opportunity to get things rolling, be the first sport to come back, and they just are haggling over money, and it is quite frankly disgusting and gross that they're doing this when people are losing their jobs. And so I'm upset, obviously, with the owners. I've ripped them quite a bit. Extremely upset with the players as well. Here was the statement from Major League Baseball Players Association. The MLBPA Executive Board met multiple times in recent days to assess the status of our efforts to resume the 2020 season. Earlier this evening, the full board reaffirmed the players' eagerness to return to work as soon and as safely as possible. To that end, we anticipate finalizing a comprehensive set of health and safety protocols with Major League Baseball in the coming days, and we await word from the league on the resumption of spring training, camps, and a proposed 2020 schedule. While we had hoped to reach a revised back-to-work agreement with the league, the players remain fully committed to proceeding under our current agreement and getting back on the field for the fans, for the game, and for each other. So really, them saying no to this really doesn't mean that much because Bob Nightingale, who is a very unreliable source, I'll just throw that out there, said Commissioner Rob Manfred is scheduled to implement a 60-game season that will start July 29th. No official announcement yet, but at the very least, we know what the heck's going on and what their plan is. It's not going to be ideal for any of them, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just ready for it to be over with. Heck, I'm ready for the season to be over with already. I'm just so sick of everything. Hasn't even started. And let's get this thing rolling, fellas.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add on it. I mean, and I feel like a broken record, keep repeating myself every week. But for a general baseball fan, I mean, at this point, I don't care. It's bad to say that because I would watch because there's nothing on, but I just think both sides, like you mentioned, at this point are being a little greedy, and
absolutely,
it's just exhausting. Really, it's like, oh, okay, it's another proposal. How are they going to shoot this one down?
It's been this way for 6 weeks now.
Yeah,
same thing. Every week you feel optimistic, and then somebody has to go and just crap all over it. Essentially, That's what's been happening. Either the players or the owners, and yeah, that's all I can really say about it. I'm just ready for it to be over. The season's already going to feel like a sham anyway.
Yep.
If it's 60 games, I mean that's what that's a little more than a third of a season.
But it's frustrating, some of the big storylines that were playing out in the offseason, you're not going to see them come to fruition.
Right.
Like the Astros, they're going to get off easily, more easy than they would have, of course. Garrett Cole, you lose a whole year of him making his Yankees debut. Mike Trout, just watching him in his prime, you can lose that by a year.
And Anthony Rendon's out there now too.
Yeah, just things like that.
We have, from the time everything was postponed or pushed back in early March, it has been almost as long as what it was from the time the Nationals won the World Series to the time pitchers and catchers were
Wow.
It's been pretty much the exact same amount of time now.
Yeah.
So we've haven't had meaningful baseball in 8 months. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
get it rolling. And Major League Baseball, as we said, had a chance to be the first sport back, dominate the TV ratings, and now July 29th start date would come a day before the NBA returns and the NHL's targeted postseason. Just a failure, absolute failure by both sides. And really, it's on the owners for having to go this far, but now I'm mad at the players as well. So,
there's only 7 teams that have never won a World Series.
Only 7?
Mm-hmm.
Mariners.
Yep. I think they might be the only ones never to make it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Rangers.
Yep.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Yep.
There's 3. Brewers.
Yep.
4.
Oh, excuse me. There's only 6. This list hadn't been updated. 6.
4. So Nationals were obviously on that.
And so were the Astros.
Astros, yeah. So 5.
You've named the Rangers, Rays, Mariners, Brewers. So you're missing 2.
Missing 2. Padres.
Yep.
There's 5. One more. Trying to think which teams haven't been around. Oh, Rockies.
Yep. There you go. I knew you'd do that. You could get that.
Birdie. 4.
I honestly thought there was more than just one club who had never made it to a World Series. That's pretty surprising.
Mariners are the only one.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some. Of course, they haven't been to the playoffs in 19 years. Yeah.
They're the Cleveland Browns of the MLB.
And they are supposedly supposed to be garbage again this year. Who knows?
I mean, they're so lucky looking back that they made the 95 ALCS. That saved that baseball for that city.
Yeah, there's a whole
Without
documentary
that,
about
they
it.
don't get Safeco Field. They're not around.
Right.
Ichiro probably even saved the franchise for a few more years.
Oh,
even though they weren't that great with just his, everybody wanted to go watch Ichiro play.
Yeah, that was huge for him.
Yeah.
And they won 116 games in
Yep.
2001, then were put out by the Yankees.
Yep. Yeah, it's just wild to think. I mean, if that city didn't have them, they don't have the Sonics, they would just have the Seahawks.
Yeah, and they have the Seattle Sounders.
Yes.
That's a big soccer state,
I don't think
too.
they have a WNBA team anymore.
Storm?
Oh, yeah, the Storm. Yeah, they still do have them. Yeah, Sue
Think
Bird.
so.
Yeah. So they have a few, but yeah.
I'm telling you, I was there May 2 years ago, and they pack. Is this CenturyLink?
Yeah,
for soccer.
Yeah.
Pack it.
Yeah.
Seattle Storm have been around since 2000.
Okay.
Sounds like they're still there.
Yep. Got any more on the MLB?
No.
No. Done.
I'm disgusted.
Disgusted. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, the ESPYs were last night. Did you watch any of it?
About 10 minutes.
I watched 0 seconds of it. It was completely different from what, you didn't really have any categories, did they?
No.
They just.
Like I said, it was 10 minutes, and even though during those 10 minutes, I wasn't paying as much attention as I probably should have.
Who were the hosts? It was Russell Wilson, I think Megan Rapinoe, and Sue Bird.
When I was watching it, they were talking about Cassius Winston and college female basketball player and a bunch of other athletes who lost their senior years.
The Oregon senior basketball player? Yeah, Sue Bird, because, yeah.
Who we just mentioned for the Seattle Storm.
Megan Rapinoe. I think those were the two. But I came up with a Decade ESPY Awards.
Okay.
A couple categories here. So let's go through them.
Let's do it.
Team of the Decade. All these teams won 3 championships, exactly. San Francisco Giants. B, New England Patriots. Golden State Warriors. Chicago Blackhawks. Who is your team of the decade?
That's a really good question. Give me the Warriors.
I agree with you as well.
And they should have won 4.
Yeah.
They should have beat Cleveland. They were up
Absolutely.
3-1.
They could have easily won 5 too.
And look for them to rebuild because they're probably going to get a top draft pick, if not the top draft pick.
Steph
They're going to make a run out at the Greek Freak.
Yeah.
Look, they're going to reload.
Clay will be back.
They're going to reload.
Yep.
So,
moving on, male athlete of the decade have about 8 of them here.
Okay.
Tom Brady, Mike Trout, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Sidney Crosby, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Novak Djokovic.
All pretty worthy candidates.
Is there one I'm forgetting that you are thinking of?
No, the only golfer that comes to mind is Rory McIlroy, and he hasn't done much since 2014.
Gotta be honest, I completely neglected to remember golf.
No, and that's fine because there isn't one. I mean, Rory dominated up until like 2014, then he stopped, and Spieth had a little run. He hasn't done anything in like 3 years.
Right.
Koepka's had a little run lately. Tiger's, won one huge tournament in that span, but
I was trying to get
that's
one
fine.
athlete from each sport, and I completely forgot.
This is a tough one. You could go in so many different directions. I mean, if Trout's team won a little more, I'd probably say him.
I favorited something on the tweeter last night.
I'm honestly going to say Michael Phelps. When it comes to Michael Phelps about any conversation, I give him a lot of respect.
Players with at least a 300 average, 250 homers, 1,000 OPS, and 200 stolen bases during their first 9 seasons. Only one player's done that, and it's Mike Trout.
Yeah, he just doesn't get – we've talked about this many times. He doesn't get recognition because his team's just not very good.
Yep.
And he plays on the West Coast. But I'm going to go with Michael Phelps.
Michael
I
Phelps
think the dude's
is
unbelievable.
Very good choice. Female Athlete of the Decade. I'm sorry to all you female fans. I could only come up with 3. Serena Williams, Katie Ledecky, Simone Biles.
I'm trying to think if there's any others I can think of. I'm sure there are. I'm blanking, but I'll go with Serena.
Serena's a good choice. Simone Biles.
I think they're all 3 good choices.
Cleaned up. So did Katie Ledecky.
Yeah, sure. Who was was it Missy Franklin was the phenom?
Yeah, the real
team
tall
swimmer, and
swimmer
then she went Stanford.
Yeah.
So did Pat Forty's daughter won like swimmer of the year at Stanford this year.
Wow.
But I don't know if she really did anything lately. Like she did that first Olympics she was in.
I think it's because she was in college and she kind of she didn't do the Olympic thing.
Yeah.
I don't think. There's so many other great female athletes. For some reason, I just couldn't go.
That's one thing I keep forgetting. This was Olympic year.
It was.
They pushed it back till next year. Hopefully, we can have it next year. I don't know.
Best moment of the decade. If you choose this wrong, I'm going to punch you in the throat.
I'm going to choose it all on purpose.
Cubs break 108-year World Series drought. Eagles win their first Super Bowl. Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters. The decision from LeBron James. Abolishment of the BCS.
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos winning Super Bowl 50. No, I will say it's the Cubs. Tiger close second.
I was going to say Tiger would be.
I think a lot of people,
close second.
A lot of non-Cub fans would say Tiger, but I'll say the Cubs because I'm not a big Tiger guy, and I know living around these areas how
huge,
impactful it was to many people.
Most lists I saw had the Cubs.
108 years.
Number one.
Come on.
Best sports play.
But those other ones were good on there too. I mean, some of the other ones.
Is there any more? That
the decision. I mean, that changed the landscape of the NBA.
So did the abolishment of the BCS as well.
Sure.
That's why I added that.
For the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Best sports play of the decade. I'm sure I'm completely missing some.
If you mention one, I'm going to punch you in the face. Okay, you didn't put that one on there. Good.
Is it the Flacco to?
That one too, but I was talking more of Virginia.
Oh no, I wouldn't even think of that. LeBron James chased down block in
that was
2000.
Iguodala.
Was that 16 finals?
Yep.
OBJ's Monday Night Football catch.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler's game-winning interception.
Should have ran the ball.
Chris Jenkins buzzer beater. National championship. The Auburn kick six. Yeah. And the Minneapolis Miracle.
Those are all good ones.
I'm trying to think if I missing any, but I could not think of any.
Man, I gotta go Chris Jenkins. I mean, that was the win the national championship at the buzzer. That was unbelievable.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm sure there's other plays. I can't think right now off the top of my head either.
No, that was one I just kind of rattled off the top of my head. To be honest, when I got towards the end of this, I kind of got bored with it and gave a half effort to it.
Could almost say James Harrison's pick. That wasn't this decade. Never mind. That was in 09.
That was 09? Okay.
Yep.
So I was thinking that was either 09 or
2010 was Saints Colts.
Yeah. I can't think of any other ones. I can't think of any big baseball plays.
Mario Manningham had a heck of a catch.
Yeah, that was one that had been listed, but I already had
the Patriots,
had a couple football ones on there already. Yeah. College basketball team of the decade. Villanova won 2 titles. Duke won 2 titles. UConn won 2 titles. Gonzaga, even though they didn't win a title.
Man, it's a coin flip. I'm going to go with Villanova. I like Jay Wright. I think he runs a classier program than Coach K at Duke. Yes. UConn, they've just kind of fell off real bad since then. Gonzaga's always in it. Mark Few runs a good program, but I'm going to go with Villanova.
I think this would have been the year Gonzaga won a national title, too. I think they were conditioned to do that this year.
They're always in the hunt if they don't get knocked out like in the first 2 rounds.
Yes. One more. Game of the decade. I'm sure I'm missing another one. Game 7 of the 2016 World Series. 2018 college football playoff final when Tua came in
Against Georgia.
for Jalen Hurts and threw a touchdown in
That
overtime
was a
to
great
win.
game.
There was another really good national championship when Deshaun Watson threw to Hunter Renfrow.
Yep,
that
to
I'm
beat
I'm
Bama.
just remembering
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals with the chase down block. 2016 College Basketball Championship, Chris Jenkins shot. Then the 2017 Super Bowl, 28-3, came back, and I'm sure there's multiple games I forgot to put on the list, so I apologize.
I'm going to go with the one you originally forgotten, but Clemson over Alabama.
That was a good one.
Hunter Renfrow, but
Completely forgot about that. As time expired, too.
Yep. But Tua's against Georgia was right up
That was
there
a good
too.
one.
There was also, it wasn't a championship game, but the Georgia against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl to beat Baker in overtime. That was a good one.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of good playoff football games, college football games.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other. I guess I could have thrown the Purdue-Virginia game in there on that one.
Virginia,
that was a great game.
Virginia had great
Couple
games in the Elite Eight, Final Four, and championship. They should have lost all three of them, really.
Easily.
But they were a team of destiny. They found a way.
Yeah. Other college football ones. There was a really good Rose Bowl that it wasn't for a playoff or anything. It was that USC Penn State.
Yep,
that was a great one, but that wouldn't.
Tell you what, Rose Bowl was. It was Stanford and Iowa.
I was a big fan of that one.
I just had to bring that up because McCaffrey literally the first play from line of scrimmage.
I think I've told this before. My uncle's a huge Iowa.
That's kind of why I brought this up.
Football fan, and I think it was Christmas. We were talking, and he goes, "Oh, I was gonna smack this Stanford offense is very good." So, have you watched Christian McCaffrey? He said, "Nah, I've heard about him, but I haven't really watched him." What was it? First play of the game, took an 80-yard.
Yeah, he ran a little slant route. They gave him the ball, and then he just boom, gone.
I think I texted him. You've seen him now.
That was my most enjoyable season to watch a player because Purdue was garbage, and I would stay up and just watch Stanford games his junior year. He was electric. It was kind of like Reggie Bush his senior year.
It is
My dad would stay up and watch him. I remember that one against Fresno State. Dad told me about the next day where he goes behind the back with the football. And Reggie's reinstated now at USC to get recognized after 10 years.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Give him the Heisman back, too.
Yeah.
It is an absolute travesty. Christian McCaffrey did not win the Heisman. Yeah. Who won? It was Derrick Henry one year, I remember.
That was the year, wasn't it?
There were 2 years he was really good, but I think
he was better his junior year than he was senior year.
Or sophomore year.
Maybe sophomore year. But senior year he got hurt a little bit.
Did he even play senior year? Or did he just go until he was a junior?
No, I think you're right. I meant sophomore year. His last year of college he got hurt a few times.
Yeah. I remember. I think you were over at my house.
But even I would have made a case years ago for Toby Gerhardt when he lost to I think Mark Ingram won it that year. It's because those West Coast guys just don't get noticed.
Christian finished second in 2015, Heisman ninth in 2016. Derrick Henry won. A sophomore, Deshaun Watson finished third. Baker finished fourth. Keenan Reynolds, remember him, quarterback at Navy, finished fifth.
Forgot about him.
Fournette, sixth. Dalvin Cook, 7. Ezekiel Elliott, 8. Connor Cook finished ninth.
Michigan State was good that year.
2015. He had a pretty good year. Trevon Boykin.
TCU?
Yeah. I want to see what 2016. Lamar won 16.
That's another thing. I used to be great at Heisman trivia in order, and now I'm just not very good.
I'm trying to think. We're trying to see. Deshaun finished second. Baker third. D.D. Westbrook was fourth that year.
Oklahoma.
I remember Big Ten Network was hyping up Jabril Peppers for it that whole time, and he finished fifth.
They tried to give him the Charles Woodson treatment and play him all over the field to help his case. And
he was really good college player.
Sure.
But he couldn't have been a Heisman guy.
He's on the Giants now.
Jake Browning finished sixth, 43 touchdowns.
And then he came back the next year and wasn't near as good.
Yeah, he wasn't as good.
Because I think he was one of the favorites to be the
Dante Foreman, you remember him at Texas? He had over 2,000 yards rushing. Third-round pick by Houston.
Yeah.
He hasn't really done anything in the NFL, though.
It'll be interesting, assuming we have a college football season this year, to see who's the Heisman favorites in the preseason. Usually it's won by somebody that's not one of the favorites.
Yeah, who would have thought Joe Burrow this year?
Nobody.
He wasn't on anyone's radar
Except
until like week 5 or 6.
They're already putting that Spencer Rattler Oklahoma. He's already one of the favorites. He hadn't even played a single snap of college football, really, besides practice.
I mean, you'll have your usual suspects, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, probably even Travis Etienne as well. I think he was my pick last year, Clemson running back.
Chubba
Hubbard.
He's going to have to put up a ton of stats because I don't see them being like a 10-win team or anything.
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, Oklahoma State's a good program, but they're usually an 8-win team or something.
He had 2,094 yards and 21 touchdowns last year.
He was a beast. USC has a quarterback that'll be up there too.
I thought he transferred to.
Their backup transferred.
Oh.
But
let's see.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, that Slovis, Keaton Slovis, he threw 30 touchdowns last year. I didn't realize that. He's only a freshman.
But it'll be interesting. I mean, right now, while students and athletes are going back, or football players, I cannot talk tonight. Football players are going back. It just depends on where you're at with the cases right now. I mean, LSU's had like 40. Clemson had 20-some. But then there's schools like Wisconsin, Iowa that have single digits out of hundreds of athletes.
That's the thing. No one knows.
And here's what I keep going back to. It's and really nobody knows or can prove it. If you can't get it again, then it's fine that Clemson's had 1/4 of their team get it because they're building antibodies. Might as well get it now instead of week 2. Have your whole offensive line get it a Thursday before the game, and then you're in trouble.
That's the thing, though. No one knows.
I know.
I don't have a medical degree,
but I guess if they after this just keep testing those same players and they keep saying negative all the way through, that would kind of maybe tell you something. I don't know, but we'll see, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, every place is different, and
I'm increasingly more nervous about football. I hadn't been nervous about football at all, but now that we're just a month away from camps opening and cases are still skyrocketing in some places, it's making me a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't like to. I don't even like to think about that because I don't know how we'll keep continuing to do this podcast if there's no football. But we'll see.
We could start covering rugby, cricket.
Gonna have to learn a new sport.
We probably need to do that just to broaden our knowledge of the sporting world. When I went to Grace College for a year, and a kid started a rugby club, and they just go and beat the living snot out of each other right out in front of my dorm, and I had a lot of fun watching them do that.
Microwave some popcorn and just
many injuries. I think the kid broke his leg. That was really the only saving grace from that university that I enjoyed. Was that? But remember how I said Bob Nightingale is not very what's the word?
News or
reliable source. He has already gone back on his initial statement. He said MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred has no plans to implement a season tonight or even tomorrow. The two sides still have to reach an agreement on labor and health issues, perhaps delaying Manfred's decision. The health issues are by far the most important aspect of this whole thing because they have closed all 30 Major League spring training facilities for like a deep cleaning. It sounds like if we get a season and a spring training 2.0 happens, it will be at each team's Major League ballpark. And I think Phase 4 in Illinois, at least part of Phase 4, I don't know if it's happened yet, will allow 20%.
20% outdoor. And restricted concession stands.
So that would be about 8,000 at Wrigley. And White Sox will see their attendance go up.
Speaking of baseball real quick, I just found this list. On CBSSports.com, Matt Snyder, he's a writer, he ranked every baseball stadium.
In his extremely biased opinion is how he even worded it on Twitter. So I know who was last, and I know who was first.
Cubs are first, Giants second, Padres third.
I've heard that's gorgeous.
Pirates fourth,
That is gorgeous.
Red Sox fifth,
that is also
Orioles
really
sixth,
nice. Never been there.
Astros 7th, Rangers 8th, Tigers 9th, Twins 10th, Royals 11th, Braves 12th, Dodgers 13th, Yankees 14th, Rockies 15th. I've been to both of those. Nationals 16th, Mets 17th. They've really made it up because Shea Stadium.
Shea would have been like 38th out of 30.
Phillies 18th, Mariners 19th, Reds 20th. Been there. Indians 21st, Brewers 22nd, Cardinals 23rd, White Sox 24th, Angels 25th, Marlins 26th, Diamondbacks 27th, Blue Jays 28th, Rays 29th, and A's 30th.
Yeah, he said it was an extremely biased list. I think he's a Cubs fan.
I've never heard of the guy.
But
just give him credit for his article.
I think, was Seattle like 20th? I wonder if he's been to all
I just read them and I can't remember.
Safeco Field's really nice. It's not called Safeco anymore. I think it's actually T-Mobile Park. That's a nice one. I've been to Pittsburgh. It's gorgeous. That was his 4th. I've took a tour of Fenway. It's really awesome. I think Busch Stadium's really nice as well. That was just 23rd. So
I'm jumping all over the place, but I keep finding interesting articles to talk about here. We were just talking about college football, and this guy ranks all college quarterbacks on tiers. There's only 2 college quarterbacks in Tier 1. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
No Brandon Peters?
No. Brandon Peters that's Illinois quarterback. I was thinking he still played for Michigan. I was like, he's done, but that was kid from Shea Patterson. Yeah. Tier 2, you do have a Big Ten quarterback on here, Tanner Morgan, Minnesota.
It'll be interesting because he lost Tyler Johnson, but he still has...
He has a Bateman still.
Bateman, yes, Rashad Bateman.
Sam Ehlinger from Texas. Brock Purdy, Iowa State. De'Aaron King, Miami. He
transferred from Houston.
Brady White, Memphis. That's great. Purdue plays them week 2. That's just fantastic. Kendon Slovis, USC. Sam Howell, North Carolina.
He was a freshman last year.
Shane Buechele, I believe is how you say his last name. Buechele.
His dad played for the Cubs.
Oh, that's just great. SMU.
He was the one. He started for Texas as a freshman and beat Notre Dame.
He's still in college.
Yeah, transferred.
Seems like wow.
I mean, that was 2006. That was just 4 years ago, and he was a freshman then. So
he's a 5th year.
Redshirt senior.
Kyle Trask, Florida. And Jamie Newman, Georgia.
Transferred from Wake Forest.
Then Tier 3, Ian Book. Kind of surprised he wasn't on Tier 2.
Book it!
Oh, geez. Don't associate that with Ian Book this year.
Or do.
Or he could.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also got Charlie Brewer of Baylor.
Chuck.
Michael Cunningham of Louisville. Kellen Mund, Texas A&M. Jaden Daniels, Arizona State. Dylan Gabriel, UCF. Zach Thomas, Appalachian State. KJ Costello, Mississippi State, formerly of Stanford. Yeah. Drew Plitt of Ball State.
How do you spell his name?
Drew Plitt.
Yeah.
Plitt.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sean Clifford, Penn State. Jack Cohn, Wisconsin. Chris Robinson, FAU. Anthony Ruzzo, Temple. Skylar Thompson, Kansas State. And Shea Wertz, Georgia Southern.
Drew Plitt, last year as a junior, threw for 2,918 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
I'm not going to go over all these lists.
He only went 5 and 7.
He does have Tier 4 here. I'll just name you the top Tier 4 is Bo Nix from Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Tier 5, Adrian Martinez is number 2 on Tier 5.
Thanks.
Brandon Peters, number 8 on Tier 5.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Illinois quarterback. And that's
why does that sound familiar?
He only did 5 tiers. So
even after I just named him, didn't I? I did.
Yes, you did.
I already forgot.
So, yeah, interesting little list there.
I'm a much bigger fan of those tiered lists than I am draft grades.
I kind of figured you might be. So, I got a little golf talk here to go over real quick. We had the RBC Heritage at...
What does RBC stand for?
It's a company. I don't know. So you're going to Google it. It was down at in the Carolinas. Webb Simpson won. He went nuclear yesterday. I think he birdied 5 of his last 7 holes or 6 of his last 7. He is, to me, the Phil Rivers of the PGA Tour. solid. Probably doesn't get enough recognition. Has tons of kids. It's kind of goofy. Webb Simpson's probably knocking on the door of a Hall of Fame career. He's won the Players. He's won the U.S. Open one year. He has, I think, 9 career wins, 9 or 10. He's been on a couple Ryder Cup teams. So he's not one of my favorite guys, but because I kind of find him boring. But, hey, the guy's a solid player. So this week's a Travelers Championship. Once again, a lot of big names in this one. And we all know who J-Man's going to pick.
Royal Bank of Canada was RBC.
Oh, all right. We know who J-Man's going to pick, but the power rankings, the top 15 according to PGAtour.com, you got JT Poston, number 15, Sungjae Im, 14, Mark Leishman, 13, Joaquin Niemann, 12th. He played really well this past week. Paul Casey, 11th. Abraham Answer, he played really well. 10th, Bubba Watson, 9th. John Rahm, 8th. Webb Simpson, who just won 7th. Brooks Koepka, 6th, who, cool story about Brooks, his brother Chase Koepka qualified for the Travelers this week, actually today, so his brother will be in the field with him as well. Roy McIlroy, 5th.
This will be the J-Man's bucket prediction of the week. Give me Rory, as always.
It says, off to a slow start, slow restart despite 6 red numbers in 8 rounds, but he has 2 top 20s and as many appearances with a scoring average of 67.88 at TPC River Highlands.
J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week is brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watring. For life, home, auto, renters, business, workers, comp, and farm, contact Trav at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watring@infb.com.
He's back in the office.
Back at it.
So give him a call today. Patrick Cantley's 4th, Justin Rose 3rd, Mr. Muscle Man himself, Bryson DeChambeau 2nd, and Justin Thomas 1st. Justin Thomas was tied for 101st after Thursday, and at one point yesterday he was tied for the lead.
Wow.
That's how you make a comeback in a few days during a golf tournament.
Where did Rory end up? I saw a real bad shot in an expletive.
Let's see. Yeah, he did make the cut. Let's see where he ended
all that
up.
matters. Got paid either way.
Yep. My guy Ricky Fowler did not make the cut for the 2nd week in a row, and he's taking this week off, which I think is a smart decision. It would really help if I can find... Oh, there we go. Let's see where Rory finished.
Finished tied for 41st.
He found it a lot quicker than me.
All you have to do is Google his name. And
I was on the PGA Tour website, so I was trying to...
Finished 11 under, but it was tied for 41st.
He always struggles 1 or 2 rounds, it seems like, per weekend.
He was only 1 under yesterday, so that kind of hurt him. He's 11 shots back.
Yeah, I knew he was made his way in the top 10 early yesterday, but I knew it was going to be an interesting round when a lot of the guys going out early yesterday were going low. I'm like, okay, then the leaders are just going to rip this up by the time it's...
I was going to say, those guys ripped that course to shreds.
Yep. And it was rain delayed for a while, so it got some prime time television time last night, which it was the longest day of the year yesterday, so it's a good day for it, I guess.
I was going to say, it's already dark and it's only 7 o'clock.
So it's not already dark.
It looks like it.
It's not even close to being dark.
I know it.
Ignoramus. But
I think we're about to get a storm, actually. Hope it doesn't knock out power.
Maybe that's why it's dark. Yeah, that's all I really got for golf. I mean, and I guess one thing I did forget, the PGA Tour did have their first player test positive for the coronavirus, Nick Watney, on Friday. He was starting not to feel well late Thursday with some congestion and wanted to get himself tested Friday morning for the sake of not only him but the other players in the field, and came back positive, and so he is now quarantined at Hilton Head for 14 days. So
it was really only a matter of time.
Sure,
before,
absolutely. It was going to happen eventually, but says he's feeling fine.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
They handled it about, in my opinion, as well as you could have. They got out on it right away, the PR, everything. So,
I mean, we've heard just from this week a bunch of baseball employees and players have tested positive. A bunch of college football players have.
It's going to happen.
It was
You can't.
inevitable.
Yeah. Yep.
And honestly, it's surprising it took them this long to have a positive test. Now, they could have been positive for a while, and they're just now releasing them. But, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Hopefully we get into this sometime. I thought we'd be much closer to an end than we are now. But
Yeah, back in March when it started, I thought we'd be a lot further along and on June 22nd than we are. But Can't predict
That's
these
the
things.
thing about these unknown stuff.
'Cause I sure would love for fans and people to start attending events again. It makes for much more entertaining TV
A little.
and to talk about.
Yes. Speaking of Novak Djokovic, I just saw this on TMZ Sports. Novak Djokovic slammed for shirtless party days before positive COVID test.
Oh, not good.
Nope.
I didn't know he tested positive, I guess.
Wow. I didn't either. Might Google it real quick.
We are all over the map on this show.
It's gonna get this
Tonight.
way, bro. I don't know.
Huh.
Players test positive for coronavirus.
So different
but
tennis players.
Yes.
Okay, so not necessarily him.
Tennis event organized by Novak Djokovic under fire as players test positive for
Gotcha.
the coronavirus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We got about 9 minutes left. You got a list? Anything you want to pull from?
I could list my most hated MLB players. I have 20 of them.
Sure.
I'll start with number 20. How about that? Pedro Martinez.
He'd be about number one for me, or at least my top five.
He's
so.
a little punk. Plays beanball.
Yankees are his daddy.
Yeah, they are. I've seen him. If you ever see video of him getting in fights back in the 90s, it's
He
so
threw a
much fun.
7-year-old man down on his head.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
Even though Don Zimmer might have deserved it, but
Number 19, Madison Bumgarner. He's kind of a old school.
you just wish you could chug beer like him.
I can't chug beer like him. I could be in a rodeo like him too. Do you remember he had like an alias and he won like a rodeo event and the Diamondbacks were not too happy about it because it was this offseason. And he signed with Diamondbacks. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because you just mentioned
Yes.
that earlier on the episode. And
He's always yelling at people, running the bases. Number 18, Brandon Phillips. Hate him. 17, Todd Frazier. Didn't like him
the
either.
Todd father. The second Todd father, Todd Helton's original.
16, Jose Reyes. Hated him.
Yeah, he's not a good human being.
Just a terrible guy. Number 15, Yordano Ventura. He has passed away since, but I hated him when he played. I mean, he would throw at guys and yell at guys for no reason. 14, Carlos Gomez. Hated him when he was with the Brewers. Always getting in fights.
Hate's a strong word.
I hate. 13, Lance Berkman. Hated him. He was a Cub killer.
He was a Yankee for like half a season.
And he was with the Cardinals, which
Yep.
made it even worse. Number 12, Mark McGwire. I made this list before the documentary last week. Number 11, Garrett Cole, Pirates.
Okay.
I don't hate him since. Well, actually, this next one, entire Astros roster from the previous 3 seasons. I guess he's on that one, too.
that's fair.
Number 9, Manny Machado.
I'm not a Manny Machado
Can't
fan.
stand him.
I can't either.
Number 8, Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
Don't like him either. I wish him and old Bumgarner would duke it out. Number 7, Colton Wong.
I thought he'd be top 5 lock.
Can't stand him, but these other guys I just hate a lot more.
I know one of them coming up, but
Number 6, Alex Rodriguez.
okay.
It's very serious that he and his girl, J-Lo, are they married? I don't think they're
No,
married.
they're not.
Are putting up money to potentially buy the Mets. I guess it's a very serious thing. Number 5, Roger Clemens. I hated the Rockets.
Rocket.
He was the definition of roid rage. Number 4, this guy's actually grown on me, so don't hate me, Andrew. Trevor Bauer.
He's
He's
annoying.
I still don't like him, but he has grown on me the past couple weeks. Number 3, AJ Pierzynski.
Okay, you're number 2 guys who I was thinking. Yeah.
AJ Pierzynski.
And Michael Barrett got the best of him.
Yes, he did. I couldn't stand AJ. Number 2, Yadier Molina.
That's yep.
He will be a Hall of Famer one day, and I will go to my grave saying he is the worst Hall of Famer ever inducted. Number 1, Ryan Braun.
Yeah. Saw you yell at the TV the other night when he was playing for the U against Nebraska.
Yes, we watched a game. It was, Miami against Nebraska. Ryan Braun, John Jay
and
against Brian Dunsing.
yeah, and you knew all 3 of it. It was really
Before it was on commercial when I said it, and I was impressed with myself. But Ryan Braun, just the worst guy ever.
one thing I forgot to mention. The Belmont Stakes were held this week. Instead of, it's usually the Kentucky Derby's the first of the Triple Crown horse races. Can you tell me who won the Belmont Stakes?
I saw it, but I don't remember the name.
Tis the Law.
Yep, that's it.
So watch.
Was he a favorite or?
I don't know.
Don't know.
But you ready for the birdie bogey?
Not really. I remember the question, but I didn't think about it once during the show.
Who was the last MLB pitcher to throw no hitter?
Max Scherzer.
Good guess, but no. How about Verlander?
When did he do it?
September 1st.
I remember Max Scherzer was bunting during batting practice, and it broke his nose. For some reason, I was thinking he threw a no-hitter the next start, but I think he just struck out 1,000,000. Man, that was a tough
Bogey.
one. I don't remember. I don't remember no-hitters.
I don't remember the last time you got a birdie.
No, it's been a while. I was on a pretty good roll there
Yeah.
for a while. The Jordan ones I would get right, but the baseball
I'm even
ones,
trying to give you baseball ones.
well,
help you out.
this baseball one was a little different than the one before,
Sure.
where I should have gotten, and I
Chipper
am
and-
still
yep.
kicking myself 3 weeks to a month
Yep.
later.
Yep.
Uh,
Wrap us up, J-Man.
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show, live on the ISC Sports Network. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Noble Gnome LLC, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watering, Performer Print House, and The Dam Landing. We did an interview with 2020 Rochester High School grad and football player who's going to play football at Olivet Nazarene next year, Isaiah Jackson. That is up on our YouTube page. It's our first YouTube video we have put up in over a year.
You can also listen to it
Yes, on
wherever
our
you
normal-
listen to our podcast on.
Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio,
Stitcher, wherever
Stitcher.
you get your podcast at.
Audio Boom. Is that the other one?
Yep.
So go check it out. It was a really, really good interview. Learned a lot about
Very
him.
bright, confident kid.
Real smart, a lot smarter than both of us.
That's not hard to do.
So, anyway, have a great rest of the week, and we will be back at it. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hopefully we have more to talk about next week.
Yes.
Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, everybody.